One of the things that the coronavirus pandemic has got me thinking about hard is the whole concept of money and the money economy. It's an offshoot of the possession economy, like I looked at in a previous video, but it's the main means by which we manage anything. Money is essentially our only main means of managing resources and the flow of resources. Hence one of the reasons why money is called currency, because it deals with the flow. But it depends on this rather odd idea of valuation, that some things are valued as higher than others or more important than others. And particularly, we need money to access resources, but somehow, in an odd way, some jobs are classed as more important than others, or socially important, or the higher you are in a hierarchy, the more you should earn. I often wonder whether that's actually appropriate. And one of the things that has really come up, been highlighted by the pandemic, is the complete failure in many different ways of so many aspects of the money economy. In many ways, it just doesn't work, and this is really obvious now. For example, social distancing has forced a separation between the haves and the have-nots in an incredibly arbitrary way. That some jobs are classed as essential, and other jobs are classed as aren't essential and you mustn't be at work because you mustn't be with other people. So we've now got people out of work for, I think in the States, for example, it's now 22 million unemployed. It's an incredible jump. Vast numbers of people who've never been unemployed before in some cases are suddenly unemployed and therefore have no income. Because access to resources is linked to being at work on behalf of someone else. The outgoings remain the same, but suddenly there's no income. And many people simply don't have savings to cover that kind of gap, which is what the money system tells us to do, is to have savings. The other one is that we've got a really interesting highlight that's happened, where suddenly all of the work that's classed as essential, particularly healthcare and keeping things clean and bus drivers and so on, all of those things that are classed essential are mostly done by people with the lowest income. And that the people who are at the very highest income still remain in work because they're in control of it, but the people in the middle who are used to having an income are classed as non-essential. It gets to be very interesting on the boundaries around that we normally pay the people who do what we now understand as essential the least. The closer you get to doing real, tangible, essential work, the less you get paid. This is an odd way to structure an economy. So, bluntly, there's a major rethink required. Not only as we've seen before that the possession economy is not sustainable in the long term, the money economy, which is its main external form, also doesn't work. And what is interesting is that we can replace, in theory at least, we can replace every single monetary transaction with the one short four-word phrase: what do you need? Whatever the needs are, that's how we should be managing the resources. A money economy or a possession economy guarantees that the resources will naturally move to where they're least needed, not to where they're most needed. So there's some huge issues that we need to do to rethink an economy completely without money. We don't actually need it. It's a really bad way to manage resources. It doesn't work, and we don't even need it anyway. So it's quite interesting to go down a high street, for example, or the shopping mall, and look at the shops that would remain exactly the same if there were no money in the economy, as opposed to the things that would. Banks and insurances, taxes, all of those, almost all of those would vanish overnight. They've got no actual function in a viable economy. There's some really interesting ways and interesting challenges about how we rethink our entire economics at a global scale without money.